Good morning. Hey, what's going on? Does anybody really know what's going on? I'm going to just share this little thing, and if you get it, you'll just see how friggin' hilarious life is if you get it, and if you don't get it, keep coming back because this is important to get. It really is. So a couple of quick things. One, we've already spoken. Oh, just want to remind you that we're going to do this little talk, then we're going to read from this little book, and then we're going to have a 10-minute meditation. Okay. So the first thing is, and I think most of us, that come to listen to me in the mornings have already got this, and that's that we are not our minds. And we can actually watch our minds. We practiced watching them. In meditation, we watch the thoughts come, and we watch. We know that it's not. There's the watcher, and that's who we are. We're the watcher. We're even beyond the watcher. But the first kind of little piece of awakening is that we're not our minds. Then who are we if we're not our minds? It's a good question. But let's just watch. I just want to share with you sometimes what the mind does. The mind makes up stories, and we get caught in them, and we're generally, the story has us in the picture, right? The story's not just about what's going to happen in politics, or what's going to happen in the economics of the world, or those kind of things, or what's going to happen with the pandemic, but it's always got us in the middle of it and how it's going to affect us, and the mind's making up these scenarios all the time. It's just a constant story-making machine, and then it assesses meaning. It says, well, this means this, and the meaning that the mind assesses has got to do with good or bad, or right or wrong. So here it is. Now we've established that we're not our mind. Hi, Shane. Good to see you, buddy. We've established that we're not our mind. That the mind kind of runs on its own, just like we're not our body. We live in the body, and it's pretty friggin' amazing, isn't it? But we're conscious of the fact that we're not our body. Hey, buddy, we are in our body, and our mind is a beautiful tool, but it's supposed to be there to serve us, not there to kind of drive us crazy. So it makes up all these stories about personal finances, about relationships, about health, and the story. Oh my God, I'm going to die at 23 of a heart attack. We get these things going on in our head, and we attach to them, and we believe them, and they're just stories. They're not true. If you get this, if you can see this, that we're not our mind, and that the mind is often like a spoiled teenager, and it runs our emotions up and down, and we get stressed. We're stressed about bullshit. We're stressed about, possible scenarios of the future. And, when we take action based on our imagining of the future. So just to know those things is important. Become conscious of those. This is not, I didn't make this up. This is, the teachers of all time have known this, when we, so where do we go? Knowing it's one thing, self-knowledge, knowing it's one thing. What to do is the next. So when your mind is made up a story about how the world is falling apart. Hi, Ravi. Nice to see you, brother. When your mind is made up a story about how the world's falling apart, and, you can't seem to get it out of there, and you can't oppose it. You can't go against it. We come into the moment. Now, in the 4-step, in the 12-step program, it talks a couple of amazing ways that we can come into the moment. With anger or resentment, we have a little prayer. God, save me from being angry. Show me how I can be helpful. The prayer prayer is notorious for bringing us into the moment. Because, we get angry in our mind often about stuff that didn't happen, isn't going to happen. We're just making it up, It's just, have you can be still in bed in the morning and have the mind cooking with a story, or wake up with fear because the story's already there. Has it ever happened to you? Yes. And it's not true. So we come back to the moment. And prayer is one great way. There's a fear prayer. Fear's we don't even have the luxury of fear, okay? Because one of the beautiful things that it says in the 12 steps and in many, many, many teachings is that fear sets in motion trains of circumstance. We do have an effect on our universe with our thinking. The thinking is powerful, so when we're conjuring up terrible scenarios of the future, it helps to bring those things about. So in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says that fear set in motion trains of circumstances we felt we didn't deserve. So it actually creates shit. All right. So we can't be in fear. Fear is not a luxury that we can afford. Neither is resentment or anger. So what do we do with fear? We come into the moment. We realize that it's a story. And knowing it's a story doesn't change it, but coming into the moment does. And who do we meet in the moment? We meet universal intelligence. We meet the now. We meet isness. We meet that. We meet, the multiple of names of God in the moment, because God is in the moment only. So practicing consciousness brings us into the moment. When we remember to turn out the lights, we're present. When we don't, we're in our head, and we know we're in our head. And those are signs of that. I've had many of them, little car accidents and stuff. When I wasn't there. I wasn't even, God knows who was driving. I was physically behind the wheel, but I was in a story in my mind. So, and sometimes full of fear and stress, and I could feel it in my body. So the practice of with fear is it's just a simple prayer. God, take away my fear. Show me what you have me to be. And then on a moment-to-moment basis, thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done. Brings us into the moment. Here we are. Thy will be done. Show me what you have me to be. And we, we are this, we're in it. There isn't some distant, faraway God that we have to beseech. We're in it. I was reading this morning in the Bhagavad Gita just a little bit, the chapter 9 in the Bhagavad Gita. It's beautiful. I'm just going to read this again because it was like, oh, thy will be done. That's right. Yeah, chapter 9. Here we go. So in chapter 9, in the Bhagavad Gita, it's a beautiful, beautiful book that I'm reading, actually, not usually in the morning like this, but so God, through Krishna, is describing himself, because we agnostics, Bill Wilson said God either is or he isn't. Either he's everything or he's nothing. And because our mind cannot understand everything, we kind of sometimes scoff at that. We say, what's he talking about? Well, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I permeate all the universe. I permeate all the universe. I am unmanifest form, in my unmanifest form. All beings exist within me, yet I am so inconceivable. So it's not meant that we're going to have a understanding from the mind of this unbelievable existence that we're in, this universal intelligence that we're in. But if we practice being present, coming to the now, we soon begin to have the direct experience. And we plug in, basically, and to all knowing. And we soon get intuitive thoughts. We know how to solve problems. We know, because we are plugged in. We're no longer living in the mind, in fear, right? And we say yes when we're called to service. In the third part of the fourth step, the recommendation is that we serve. And service brings us into the moment. When we're having trouble with relationships and sex problems and, being selfish and dishonest, and in relationships, we serve. We find, where can I give back? And in the giving back, we're in the moment. So this is it. Recognize that mind makes up story, catastrophizes. Oh my God, what if this happens? What if that happens? We're worried about volcanoes, or who knows? I mean, just all kinds of shit. What if a plane crashes into my house? And we can go deeper and deeper into it, and we build our little fortresses so we can be safe in our homes, and we build up our little bank accounts so we can be safe financially. All of that, none of that's wrong. It's just that if we're there attached and in fear, it's what a waste of our life, And we could be living, boldly in the moment, in love. Love is in this moment. So that's my little story for the day. How do you like that? Okay, we're going to read a little bit, very briefly, from the, and it's fun because these talks come that I just did, and I have no idea where they come from, and then then we read, and sometimes they're connected, and I'm like really blown away. Little endless God shots. Endless God shots. How would you like that? Got my new readers. I'm pretty grateful for that. For the reading today. Okay, November 5th, thought for the day. Hi, Barbara Simpson. During our thoughts, okay, during, D-U-R-I-N-G, yeah. During our thoughts about the rewards that have come to us as a result of our new way of living, we have found that we have gained new kinds of homes, new relationships with our wives and children. That's an interesting sentence. During our thoughts about the rewards that have come to us as a result of our new way of living, we have found that we have gained new kinds of homes, new relationships with our wives and children. Also peace and contentment. Hope, faith, charity, and new ambition. What are some of these things we have lost? What are some of the things we have lost? Each one of us can answer this question in many ways. I have lost much of my fear. It used to control me. It was my master. It paralyzed my efforts. Fear also got me down. It made me an introvert, an ingrown person. When fear was replaced by faith, I got well. Have I lost some of my fears? That's beautiful. That kind of connects, doesn't it? Purpose, I guess, brings us into the moment too. Service, love. The world, it says, meditation today, the world would soon be brought closer to God. The world would soon be brought closer to God. His will would sooner be done on earth if all who acknowledged him gave themselves unreservedly to being used by him. Service, baby. God can use every human being as a channel for divine love and power. What delays the bringing of the world closer to God is the backwardness of his followers. And the backwardness of us is that we believe our thoughts. We believe our crazy minds. That's where we're backward. We're like, it's crazy. If each one lived each day for God, and allowed God to work through him, then the world would soon be drawn much closer to God, its founder and preserver. That's been, in the last few days, I've talked to a number of people who have been concerned, caught in their minds about the results of what's happening in the United States. And I said, just send love. Be the love. You are the love. Have no opinion. Be the love. And love is the healer. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be used as a channel to express the divine love. There it is. Wow. I pray that I may so live as to bring God's Spirit closer to the world. It's beautiful, eh? Okay, you guys. So another way to come into the moment is through meditation. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to have a short, like a 10-minute meditation. And we're going to sit with our legs, not crossed, but kind of open with our feet flat on the floor. We're going to open up our bodies, not be all crossed up. And 10 minutes. Is that good? Can we meditate for 10 minutes? And if you're doing this with me now or later, or any time, love to hear a comment on anything actually that I say, whether it's on this channel or on YouTube, or I also put this on Twitter or LinkedIn. I'd love to have a comment, and I'll follow up and respond, and we can maybe begin a conversation if you like. I'm open to holding the space in each moment for all of us to be present in love. Okay, so let's drop in right now. Close our eyes. And the first thing that I want to say in our meditation here is that it doesn't matter where you are. We can do this anywhere. Literally, we can do this on the bus, your headphones on. We can do this in an airplane. We can do this. Don't do it while you're driving. And we just sit. I'll drop into the breath. Breath brings us into the moment. Breath is now. Bring our consciousness to our breath. And relax. Just let the tension flow out of your shoulders. Just let all the cares of the day just drop away. Oh my gosh, yes. Breathe in through the nose. The bottom of the breath. Just stop for a second. The top of the breath. Just stop for a second. And breath will just start to move on its own. Just feel your body relaxing as you breathe. Be in your body. Just feel being here, being present, being conscious of our bodies, of our legs, of our ass, and on the couch or the bench or wherever you are. Just feel it. Feel your hips. Feel your belly. Breathe into your belly. Again, just keep letting go. More relaxed. No holding. Just let your shoulders drop and your jaw relax. The tension move out of your jaw and your neck. Just feel your head like it's on a string. Just hanging. Don't have to hold it up. Holds itself. If there's any sounds in your space, just include them. Recognize that we actually hear the sounds inside of our head. It seems that they're outside, but we perceive them and hear them inside. So include them inside and watch how the sounds can expand our consciousness and awareness into the moment, the depth of the moment. What is in the moment? What is now? Sense the openness of now, the stillness of now, the oneness of now. Release all of our beliefs, all of our conditioned ideas, all of our stories of the day. Just release them. Be in the breath. Relax. Be here now. No sleeping. Ego will sometimes take us to sleep because mind can resist this awakening of the now to the presence of God, to the presence of love. If thoughts come, just let them go. Use the breath to bring yourself back to the moment, into the now. Watch your thinking. You can't oppose it, just watch it, let it go. If we get on the fear train, on the what if train, just get off. Be here now. In the breath. Going deeper into this moment, into this now, into who we truly are. One with all things. Back to the breath. Okay. When you're ready, when you're ready, when you're ready, just come back. Slowly. No rush. Just come back into your body. Come back. Be here now. Wow. Thank you. If you have any comments, just leave them and I'll respond later. Beautiful. Just stay in that state all day if you like. Present, watching your thoughts, recognizing that you are not your thoughts. They are sometimes just random, often almost always not true. In this tapping into the consciousness, into this moment, into universal intelligence, we find the truth of who we are, one with all. We're not separate. We are love.